Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman.
And I'm the captain.
Guess where we are? Say his name.
I've no idea. Where are we, Rob?
We're at Andertons in the heart of Guildford in England on the planet Earth.
Planet Earth. And bizarrely, in one of these time-shifting millennium-style videos, of course, today we haven't been to the NAMM show yet.
Oh, yeah.
But by the time you watch this video, we will have been. And almost certainly, we said it in a video before, which has gone out, where we said you might be a dad by now, but of course you aren't.
No,
but by the time this video goes
probably
out,
will be a father. How quite strange.
who knows?
And bizarre.
You might have your own little Mustang. Might you? Oh, what a link! What a link! Graham Norton, watch out! I'm coming after your job. Or Jonathan Ross,
Graham
or any of
Norton's
those.
job.
Anybody.
If anyone could do Graham Norton's job, it would be you.
So look, cast your minds back, everybody, to that golden age of electric guitar manufacturing in the sort of the 50s, when it seemed like you know, a few of the guys just had the Midas touch, and everything they turned to gold. And you had Jazzmasters, Jaguars. We haven't got any Jaguars here, have we? But Jazzmasters, Jaguars, and Mustangs all kind of hit the scene round about that sort of late 50s, early 60s kind of time.
I thought you were going to say cast your mind back to the 80s when guitars were this affordable.
Wow.
Because it's ridiculous money for what these are.
So for January 2017, Squier have released some new offset models. Offset's kind of one of those, the terminology for offset is the sort of non-symmetrical guitar shapes that take, you know, Jazzmaster, Jaguar, Mustangs, and even some of the other weird and wonderful, like, is it Tornado and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have 5 guitars here today, 5
We've got a
different
lot of guitars.
Mustangs, Squier Affinity, Jazzmasters, a Baritone Jazzmaster, and then I think this is from the Vintage Modern series. But
that one looks really cool.
Doesn't it? But we've started with like crazy bargain basement stuff. So the 2 guitars that Rob and I are holding at the moment are the new Squier Bullet Mustang. And let's be honest with you, this, I think, embodies everything that Leo Fender kind of wanted, which was the ultimate in low-cost, affordable, but entirely functional electric guitar.
I mean, it's a simplistic build. It's a bolted-on neck.
Yeah.
It's a scratch plate. It's a body made of one piece of wood rather than multiple caps and tops and veneers and things.
When we say one piece of wood,
we
it's
just mean
almost certainly glued bits of,
but
it's
it
a
isn't a
slab
cap
body
or a top or a, you know,
it's not like
just
an arch top sandwiched thing. You know, with a fixed tailpiece, 2 simple pickups on it, it's really simple controls, and a price tag that is just like,
it's insane. It's absolutely insane, huh?
So it's like 115 quid.
Now, I've got a question for you, Lee.
Quid is pounds.
A quid is a pound in English terminology. We call them, sometimes people call them sterling. We never call them sterling.
Yeah.
We call them...
We call it quid. Well, we might say 115 pounds, but then of course you get confused because we might be talking about the weight.
Or Bosch.
We might say, what's your favourite word for pound, for money? Spondoolies.
If it's
115
if it's a certain amount,
spondoolies.
it's a pony.
Yeah. How much is a pony?
I don't know.
Is it what you got? How much is a monkey?
Someone from London's going to go,
pony,
it's this.
I think a pony's 50 quid and a monkey's 100 quid, I think.
Could you imagine if a pony was that much? It was that cheap to buy a pony. I'd have so many ponies right now. I've got a question.
When you go to America, does everybody sort of assume that you should be fluent in Cockney rhyming?
In Cockney rhyming slang? They do, because of course I'm from South London.
South London.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is that a rosewood fretboard?
Yeah. Rosewood fretboard. Goodness knows what's going to happen in 2017. What with the new restrictions on trade of rosewood and Babinga.
Well, I can make a prediction on what's going to happen. I don't think anyone's really going to be doing rosewood fingerboards much more.
Possibly,
so
and they may just find another dark wood that's similar. But look, let's get back to the Mustang. The key features of the Mustang here. Different to any other guitar, actually possibly the Duo Sonic, but different to most guitars in the Fender range, it is a short scale length guitar. By that we mean that the distance from the bridge to the nut is shorter than it would be on a Strat or a Telecaster or a Jazzmaster.
Yes.
So it's 24 inches. What does that mean? It means that when you tune your guitar up to standard concert pitch tuning, the strings have less tension in them and they are therefore easier to bend. So, and it also means, I suppose, that the guitar itself is very slightly shorter.
Also, what I love about this particular model and the the scale length is that because the scale length is so short,
Yeah.
if you put really hella thick strings on
Yeah.
it and then tune it to normal, it doesn't feel tight, but you get that
Yeah.
thick string thing.
So traditionally speaking, short scale length, you would be thinking of beginners, you know, sort of students that are wanting to learn, making the strings easier to bend. But as Rob said, it has its own kind of sound. It allows you to perhaps put heavier strings on it. And of course, the Mustangs have had a host of superstar, rock star fans over the years that play them at sort of professional level. Kurt Cobain, I guess, would be the, you know,
He's the guy that everyone associates with the model, isn't he? But there are loads of those.
Anyway, so yeah, it's Indonesian made. Obviously, in order to make these to sell for £115, they've got to be making like a gabillion of these at a time. So the guitar has to be simple and easy to make. Right now, there's only two color choices, which are the black and the blue. And there's just like, what's not to like? Shall I just quickly do the tones? It'll only take 3 seconds. So we have two humbuckers, their own brand, Squier humbuckers, and a tone and a volume control. So a clean sound off the neck pickup is this. Both pickups. And the bridge pickup. Can roll all the tone off if we want. And then gain from a pedal. What is not to like? And I tell you what, comment in the section below anything that you can part with £115 with that will give you more joy.
Or maybe don't.
Well, at least more joy over a long period of time than
Let me
one
give
of
you
these.
some of the Red Dwarf tone.
It's just great. C-shaped profile neck, so really kind of sort of, you know, traditional sort of stratty kind of feel to the guitar. Very, very lightweight. I don't know how much these actually weigh, but less than any kind of Strat or Telecaster that you'd pick up, way less than a Les Paul.
Obviously, with a mega affordable guitar, there are going to be pros and cons.
Yeah, I haven't found many cons yet.
No, there aren't many cons.
Apart from its lack of sort of, you know, things like trem systems and more pickups and stuff.
Well, the only thing I could think of is that because it's so incredibly affordable, if you were going to put thick strings and tune up, you might find that the neck wasn't as stable as maybe a standard Fender, which is why you get this kind of interesting chorus effect. If you move too much, now it's only because I'm pulling the neck to do that.
We should say that's no pedal there. That's Rob literally kind of you know, pulling them. But Rob's right. I mean, look, please don't think that we're trying to big this up to the point where we're going.
Nah.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's Eric Clapton's going to be running out to the shops to get the, you know, Squier Bullet Mustang for his next tour.
But you might do.
For honestly, man, guys that are just, you know, at the beginning of their journey or just fancy something a bit of fun. It's like, whoa, this is amazing. So. That's the Mustang, Squier Bullet Mustang. There will be links to all these products in the description below.
What are you going to use?
Okay, well, so now Rob and I are going to pick up two different guitars. 3, 4.
Wow.
Oh, it's such a fun day. So yeah, this is kind of like the big daddy version of the Mustang that we've been playing. So we're up to the sort of the full body size, proper Jazzmaster sort of body shape. the 25.5-inch scale length, so normal Fender scale length. Other than that, though, actually, it's also from their affinity range rather than the bullet range, which would suggest a slight improvement in sort of, you know, hardware qualities and things like that.
I've got to say, great sounding pickups, and also a lot more stable with this particular. It's a bit of a bigger neck, not anything like, you know, huge or big. It's just a bigger neck than this was, obviously aimed at younger individuals, I would have thought. But the tuning stability is great. It plays great, and it sounds.
That's a scale length
sick
thing, though. That is the, you know, 20. If you're going to tune to concert pitch, E-tuning, you know, there's a reason why brands like Gibson and PRS and Fender use that slightly longer scale length. It's because it, you know, the strings are kind of more stable, aren't they? At that?
Yeah.
But yeah, so tuning's probably a little bit more stable.
Great, isn't it?
It's just great, and just super affordable. About £180.
Yeah.
Quid.
That's a ridiculous
Spondoolies.
price. I mean, I don't think
Wonga.
I know of a guitar brand that makes guitars that cheap anywhere
Wodge.
else. What? I've never heard of Wodge. You absolutely just made that up.
No, Wodge is a word.
Wait a minute, is that Harry
Wodge is
Enfield?
normally, Wodge is the sort of definition for a wodge of cash rather than an actual denomination. Or is it wad?
Harry Enfield. Look at my wad.
Look at my wad.
Look at my wad.
Oh, to money. Anybody born after what, 19 or 2000?
We're not gonna have a clue.
Idea what we're talking about here. I think at the moment, again, it's only available in white, but again, these things change over time. So again,
Shall I give it a little boo?
Yeah, for sure.
Just to show you what happens when it's... Great, isn't it?
Mate, sounds great.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, fabulous guitar for that kind of dough. Not much else to tell you about that. It's again, older body, maple neck, rosewood fingerboard.
Maybe some of the last guitars to come with rosewood fingerboards.
Well, again, I don't know. If you're
speculation, intrigue.
If you're sort of thinking, what on earth are these two guys talking about? Look up CITES, CITES, and restrictions on rosewood. I don't think it's going to make a great deal of. In fact, let's just do. I'll give you my 60 seconds. Okay, it's not guitar manufacturers that are being are the root cause of the deforestation of ancient rosewood forests. It's some naughty Chinese furniture.
It's furniture manufacturers that are doing it. Yeah.
So
we're paying the price.
But unfortunately, what's happened now is that all forms of rosewood, regardless of how small, big, or whatever, are subject to certain import and export licenses, which does make it slightly more expensive and slightly more difficult to transport products that include rosewood from one country to the next. I'm sure at the moment we're right at the very early stages of what the consequences of that are going to be. Some manufacturers are moving away from rosewood. I'm sure others will just work out more simplistic ways of getting the import and export licenses they need. But yes, whatever. You may or may not see a different brown wood on fingerboards on other guitars. Anyway, look, this is... Okay, so this is the Baritone. Baritone is a sort of an in-between guitar. It's not a traditional 6-string electric guitar, and it's not a bass guitar. It's kind of in between. I suppose it's closer to an electric guitar because the the string intervals and all the chords that you would play and everything are the same as a regular 6-string guitar. It's just tuned down, much heavier strings and a longer scale length. So I've tuned this from B to B. So instead of being E to E, it's B to B. The intervals are all the same. I don't know exactly what string gauges are on here, but
all of them.
This feels, like a, I mean, certainly the bottom couple of strings feel like strings that would be more at home on a bass guitar than they would on an electric guitar. And the reason we have the longer scale length is again for tuning stability, told to go. So when we're tuned to these kind of tunings, the strings aren't super flappy. I've got...
That was me, by the way. I'm sorry. I realised I was filming some vlog.
Your GoPro
and I totally forgot I was still filming.
Oh, that's all right.
So I just turned it off.
So we have Duncan designed P90s on this guitar. A bizarre looking bridge system.
It's really odd, isn't it? It looks like it should be a tremolo. Is it a tremolo?
Yeah, no, it's not. It is screwed to the body at the back.
I guess that's the kind of architecture you need if you've got to sustain that much kind of pull.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but that's what it is. We'll do some close-ups of this. Sorry if the scratch board looks a bit sort of dirty, but it's a black scratch plate. We've just not taken the plastic off of it yet. A tone and a volume control, a 3-way switch. These really nice block inlays, sort of reminiscent of the sort of 70s kind of vibe for Fender, the big headstock. About £330.
Can you play a bit of that high gain sound that was really good?
I guess the baritone's got two kinds of fans. It's got the...
I love that feedback sound.
The really heavily drop tune, really fat. I mean, I'm not that kind of genty kind of player there, but I was just trying to do something, simple and dirty and down the bottom end to kind of give you that vibe. The other sort of style of playing is almost as an accompaniment to, I was playing that very simple, what if this was tuned normally, what would be like a G.
I have intrigue to know something. Do you mind if I try something really quickly with it? Just
Not
to see?
In the least,
I'm
no.
really interested to know if YouTube, if you're listening on your phones, by the way, as to whether or not you can hear what I'm about to do.
Effectively drop D,
dropped A.
Except, but it would be down to A now, wouldn't it? So here we go.
Can you hear that note if you're on an iPhone? That's what I want to know. Because a lot of people were saying in some of the recent bass demonstrations they couldn't hear the bass, and I'm like, but there is no.
Yeah. If you're watching bass guitar videos through your iPhone and you're not using headphones, then please, you're hearing about 10% of the sound.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Just for the record, that sustained its tension even when it was dropped, so they know what they're doing with strings.
So this is Fab, again, another Indonesian. I think all these guitars are Indonesian.
Quickly becoming, this is Chinese.
Oh, okay.
This one.
I think, to be honest with you, I'm not even sure that we should guarantee the country of origin. Brands the size of Fender will have manufacturing all over the Far East. So, maybe one year stuff will come out of one factory and the next a different factory.
Yeah.
But, this is Fab. Gloss neck. So, again, it's got that different kind of feel, slightly stickier feel to a satin finished neck. And I was showing Rob, actually it's gone down now, but my third finger that was playing predominantly...
It's like someone ran over his hand.
The G and the B strings on here was in pain. So, again, probably not a beginner's guitar, probably someone that's a bit more experienced, but absolutely a guitar that I think every 6-string player, it's worth thinking about when if and when a baritone should become part of your collection, because it's not about pickups and stuff like that give it that certain sound. It's just about the extended scaling for much deeper strings. But anyway, very, very cool guitar. Really like this. There's two more. Let's do it. We're on the final straight. Oh, there we are. I think we sort of slightly butchered Comfortably Numb there, but you got the general idea. And I don't even know why, because I don't think that's ever been played on a Jazzmaster, but hey, you heard it here first.
It was comfortable and I'm now numb.
So look, Rob and I now, you may be forgiven for thinking that we've got the same guitar, and we almost have, but those eagle-eyed amongst you will realise that I've got the tremolo version and Rob's got the hardtail
Quickly,
version.
let's explain the really confusing controls.
Okay, so the Jazzmaster, when it came out, was designed to be like a super duper deluxe top of the range Fender thing that would do everything so that you'd never need another guitar ever. And it ended up being a bit too complicated for most people and never really kind of took off in the way that the Strat and the Telly did. But the switching is kind of twofold. You had a rhythm circuit, which this little switch up here, if it's in the up position, is the rhythm circuit, which is always the neck pickup with a tone, a volume and tone here, like this. And none of the controls down here do anything at this stage. And it is a little bit darker as well than the lead circuit. So the lead circuit is this one, where now you do go over to your three-way switch.
Well, now they've written what it does
here
for you so that you can work it out.
And you'll notice, again, I don't quite know how to explain this, but even with the volume and tone on full here and the volume and tone on full here, the neck pickup sounds slightly different through the rhythm circuit than it does through the lead circuit. So a little bit darker. They've obviously got some sort of high frequency roll off thing in through the rhythm circuit, but that's how it works. So some might say versatile, some might say confusing,
but you know what? It's good fun.
But that's what it is, and all the other stuff with older bodies. Got this beautiful gold anodized scratch plate, which is actually it's like a metal scratch plate in the classic candy red finish, like a stained neck to make it look sort of vintagey and old. Maple neck, rosewood board, P90 pickups.
I think they look great and they sound great, man.
So Rob's got the sort of the more sort of Les Paul style Tune-o-matic bridge, which is not, it's not kind of authentic, but
it means you can down tune, but arguably you can down tune with this too.
Well, the trem system on the Jazzmaster has always been a bit of a mechanical
anomaly.
Yes, it's not. I don't think you'd design this again if you were like an A-level engineering student or whatever. You'd be like, I'm not sure. But so underneath this metal plate, the sort of the back or the bottom of this piece of metal where the strings go through is attached to this. So what happens? It's quite clunky, and there's nothing to hold the tremolo arm in other than just the force of pushing it in. There's no thread or anything. So again, has a tendency to come a bit loose. But I like,
a lot of people like those idiosyncrasies, those little
it's
funny
an authentic
things.
Idiosyncrasy, isn't it? Like one of those things. But lots of people prefer the version that Rob's got, where you've just got a straightforward, stable, solid.
Yeah, man.
So this is from the Squier Deluxe range. So again, in terms of just those little attentions to details and the switching and stuff like that, these are the nicest of what we've played today, just in terms of the that level of detail. So you had Bullet series, Affinity series, and Deluxe series. Not sure where the baritone sits. I don't know. Is that vintage modified, the baritone? Can't remember. But that's a sort of that's its own sort of side anomaly thing.
I mean, if you had a bit of spare change, you wanted to buy a guitar. I mean, this is a hell of a lot of guitar for the money.
They're worth what, $330? Did we say it was worth £330? I mean, it's beautiful. Again, at the moment, only available in this candy red with the sort of gold coloured scratch plate.
That's the best colour, Lee.
Who knows what will come available later this year? But they're wonderful guitars. So look. Well done, it's 2017, we're off to a great start. If every other manufacturer can impress us as much as these have, it's going to be a good year.
And you're off to the NAMM show.
I'm off to NAMM.
They would have already seen that probably.
Yes, so there's, if you didn't catch all the footage at NAMM, there's me and Danish Pete and Mick and Dan from that pedal show. We'll catch up with Rabir at some point because he's out working on the Chapman stand. I think, well, anyway, so you've probably already seen everything that we've shot, but if you haven't, go and watch that as well. I'm sure there's some fun stuff to find out. But for now,
take it easy, guys.
I'm so gutted Rob's not going to be there at the NAMM show.
I know. I mean, I'm disappointed, but I'm also very excited that I'm not.
I totally understand that. I mean, you're utterly got more important things to do here.
I'm going to have to spend months of not sleeping.
It's just, but you won't care.
Being covered in feces.
Yes, but beautiful feces, and amazing puke and everything. It's just great. There's nothing quite like it. You'd never, your own children's sick and poo.
Oh.
It's a beautiful thing. See you guys. Bye.
Bye. thing sounds absolutely immense.
It's just disgusting, this thing, isn't it? But I mean, you know, obviously when you say disgusting in a good way.
It's done some really interesting things to your fingers.
I think
you've got to be
brutal.
prepared. If you want to go baritone, if you want to go baritone,
the Copacabana.
The heart of the Havana. You got to be prepared to go through the finger pain. It's insane. This is Rory from the UK. Tell me about Rory.
So he edits videos. Rory's awesome. Yeah!